Hi, and welcome to this short guided video on how to work with emotions. We will be doing an activity after. So, first, let's remember what emotions are. Emotions are this immediate physiological response to a perceived stimulus, and it can last from 6 to 90 seconds. They tend to be a little bit intense, and why do we have these? Because they help us regulate our everyday living, and just keep us alert of any threats or any opportunities that may rise. And they provide us with data around the world that is essential to our functioning. Um, Emotions are those things that we feel that all of a sudden come up, and they come and go very quickly. They're more likely to be caused by immediate circumstances, something that someone says to us while we're in a conversation, something that we see, or a memory that we have, or perhaps an experience that we are going through. Um, at the moment. So it's very present in the moment. They, as I said, they're very short. So we're going to learn how to work with these emotions. Like perhaps an example is when we're stuck in traffic and we may get irritated for a few seconds with another driver that may do something that we didn't like, or perhaps we are buying something, and the person selling something to us is doing something unfair, so we may become angry. So just things that happen because we are in a situation specifically, and this emotion comes to us, uh, and then we're going to learn how to work through it and not around it. um, so I'm going to move to the exercise. But before, let's quickly review the 4 steps that we will be practicing in working with the emotion. The first step is to recognize what we're feeling. So what are we feeling? We give it a name: um, anger, sadness, irritation, joy. So it can be either on one side or the other side, the ones that feel good and the ones that don't feel as good. So we recognize what is happening. We give it a name. Then we accept what we feel, and we will work through each of these so we know how to do the accepting. We will investigate the emotion, and then we try not to identify with the emotion. We're aware that we are experiencing an emotion. However, that's not who we are. So get your journal, find a nice, comfortable place to sit where you can be not interrupted. And I will set a timer so we can have this exercise. So let's start. Once you have your journal, we will recognize a recent experience or something current where we had an emotion come up in us. Remember, we're talking about short and emotions that we can, identify, that are stronger. We're not talking about feelings or moods, which are longer lasting. So this exercise, we're only working with emotions that rise. Perhaps somebody mentioned a loved one that passed away, and we get teary, and sadness is present in us. So we give it a name, and we explain in our written journal what event we're choosing. So we say, I choose sadness, or I choose irritation, or I choose impatience. And then we describe the moment of the experience that happened to us recently, or that we are currently experiencing. So go ahead, spend a couple of minutes expanding of recognizing what emotion was, and then describing the actual experience. Okay, so if you need more time, pause the video now. And let's move to the second part of working with the emotion. So we are going to accept what may be present in us, or whatever was more present at the time of the current event, of the recent emotional experience. This Some of the sensations may be there now because we are recalling this recent experience. So we give ourselves the time to take a deep breath. We don't need to react or do anything at this time. And now we will take the time to write. Um, can we be okay with what is present? So, can we be okay after recalling this experience, recognizing what happened? If we're working with something that is current, can we be okay with this? Can we be okay with what is coming up with this experience? So I invite you to write anything that comes to mind, anything that you feel like sharing in your personal diary or journal. Write it, and I'll give you a minute or so for you to express if you can be okay with what is present physically, mentally, emotionally right now. Again, if you need more time, pause the video and we will continue with the third part of the exercise with working with emotions. So now we have chosen a current or a recent emotional experience. We have we have started to work with acceptance of what is there or what was there. Now we're going to investigate what happened or what is happening. So, what in words, I invite you to write in your journal. What happened, actual actions, actual words that led you to experience this emotion. So, what happened that made you angry? What was said? What did you see? What did you experience that led you to experience this short lived emotion? I will give you a few seconds to describe this in your journal. Okay. If you were able to already describe, we will keep moving on. If not, just pause the video and take your time. What body sensations are or were present at the time? So I invite you to write now what bodily sensation, if you have not done already so, um, what body sensations are right now or were present at the time. If you were angry, do you feel the need to scream, talk louder, to you wanted to just, you know, kick something? What was happening? What was happening in your body at that time that you were experiencing this emotion? Doesn't mean that you're going to take action on it. It means that we are writing down and getting to know what happens when this type of emotion is present in us. So take deep breaths as you need. Take your time. We'll spend a little bit of time describing what, how it feels. And this can help us start to learn how to work through the emotions and start noticing so we can be less reactive in the future. So breathe with me. If it's a difficult emotion that you're working with, um, and take your time writing. I will give you over a minute. And if you need more time, you will pause it once I start talking again. A few more seconds, and remember to be kind, be gentle with yourself. So now that we have investigated, and you may want, if you want to investigate more and other questions come up that you think will help you work through this emotion, go ahead and do so. The last part of the this specific exercise is to not identify with the emotion, not take it personal, not so we're not harsh on ourselves because we are experiencing emotions. Emotions are human nature. We all experience emotions, different emotions throughout the day. Um, as we said, they are stimulated by things that we may see, hear, and be in contact with. So here we're learning how to be in control of our emotions and not our emotions be in control of us. So when we are trying to not identify with the emotions, we may say phrases or write down phrases like this. I will give you a few examples, and you can take one of these with you, or you may just create your own that will help you not identify with the emotion. So, I am not my emotion. After you have done all the work, you have recognized what happened, given it a name, then you are accepted that you can be okay with what is happening, that that you know that this is temporary, and you investigate and learn how this emotion was triggered, how it came up, and then we are realizing that we are not that emotion. That is just something that happens to all of us. That is human. So we can say these kind um, phrases to us, and we can write it in our journal a few times so we can actually feel what we're saying. If we choose this one, I am not my emotion, feel that you are not that emotion. Another option is emotions are temporary, so we can write that down. Emotions are temporary. Emotions are temporary. Another one that is a good one, and we can even repeat it in silence, whatever works for you. Everything it's okay, everything's okay. So we can repeat that over and over. And one good one when we're experiencing some type of fear or anxiety that works for me, it's I am safe and this shall pass. I am safe and this shall pass. Um, that's a really good one. And also there are, you can come up with your own, you know, everything has a start and a beginning and an end. Um, whatever will help you work through it, not ignoring it, knowing we already recognize that we are experiencing the emotion. However, we right now at the end, we're just not attaching ourselves to this emotion. And with that, take a few minutes of your own time to repeat this in silence or to write it in your journal. And once you feel better, good, give yourself just some gratitude for taking the time to work through any emotion that you're working with. And thank you so much for being with me. And I wish you a wonderful day.